talk a little bit about some of the newer technologies, almost like the next wave of flash, and is that the kind of thing that an enterprise buyer should be concerned about now, or is it still? First of all, what are they, and second of all, is that the kind of thing people should be concerned about if they think about investing in flash now?
Well, let me start and say that no, they should not be concerned about it now. It's too soon for any of these newer technologies, and I certainly wouldn't use the opportunity of new technologies arriving in 3, 4, 5, 6 years as a reason not to invest in Flash. Flash is different than these newer technologies. So let me segue away from that for just a moment. I think in the nearer term, a big area of investment and development is in what we call software-defined infrastructure, and there are many cases out there. So, for example, orchestration software from the likes of VMware and Microsoft and so on, that really needs to manipulate and control the entire data center. And then, of course, when we look at that, a major element of that area of the data center is storage, whether it be spinning media or flash or any one of the newer things that will arrive. So that's a key area where we basically are doing some development to provide means and ways of either physically or, just as importantly, logically pooling similar resources together and then providing interfaces to the orchestration or the software-defined infrastructure tool sets so that they can manipulate the resource pools and apply them appropriately. Obviously, quality of service is one of these, right? If a software-defined infrastructure needs to create a platform for an application that has a certain set of requirements, those requirements would indeed include, the amount of service to give from a pool of resource, the amount of flash, for example, to allocate, the amount of flash to allocate as autonomous cache, the amount of spinning media to allocate, and then, of course, what quality that spinning media would be, right? Would it be mainly focused on cost per bit and lower performance? Would it be mainly focused on bandwidth and throughput? In a case like that, of course, you may want to spread your data across tens or hundreds or thousands of disks so that you can aggregate all of that bandwidth. So these are areas where we're deeply investing at the moment, right? Providing the software interface and capability to support software-defined infrastructure, support orchestration.
Yeah, certainly software-defined is a very hot, red-hot buzzword as well. But name it, a few of those newer things that might be coming in a few years. I find those intriguing. Just a few of those, if you would.
So the one that's closest would be phase change memory, and in all of these cases they are solid state or silicon type technologies, so they hold out the hope of providing and writing an ongoing Moore's law type effect in terms of shrinking the cost and increasing the performance. But the major difference between all of these technologies and flash or spinning media or any of the other storage mechanisms is that they're very fast. Not just high in bandwidth, but very, very low latency. And the major difference between these low latency storage elements and DRAM is that they're persistent. So they're taking a blend of the characteristics that you need to run a server and run applications on that server. In other words, relatively low latency and the ability to access the data in very small pieces, in small numbers of bytes as opposed to big blocks. And they're blending that with persistence, which of course is the domain of storage, right? All of the expertise and the development and a huge amount of the enterprise investment is in storage because that's their data, that's where the value is. But that value then is generally extracted by mining the data, running applications, and the application sets that will be enabled by extremely low latency access to vast amounts of persistent data will be extremely interesting to not only the enterprise but effectively all companies that collect data today.
So it sounds like a big data application if ever there was one.
It would be big data, but with the whole notion that you can cram your entire data set into memory because the cost per bit is less than DRAM and you can have lots of it there, and the whole notion that putting your data into that space isn't making it vulnerable because you still maintain that persistence.